Hi, this is Stan Hustad, and hello to all my friends worldwide on the EdCast Community Radio and Television Network. I don't know if they really call that, but that's what it is. And we take about 10 minutes to perhaps help you learn how to do something that will heighten your ability to be a teacher and a leader and a person who can further their career as the service of others is what you do. Please keep in mind you were made to serve others. I remember one time I said that, and one smart aleck stood up and said, "Hey, I've got a lot of things to do in life and I'm here to serve myself." And I paused and then said, "Well, I hope you pay well and on time because you're the only client or customer you're going to get." We were made to serve others, and hopefully this will be a bit of a service to you. What I just simply want to announce is that I believe that we really have to learn more and more about the world we live in. And part of what the world is all about is radio. Just recently in a major journal in the United States of America, the Wall Street Journal, they pointed out that venerable institutions, even like National Public Radio in America, BBC in the UK, they're losing. First of all, they're losing some of their talent as it gets older, and they're losing listeners because more and more younger people, and even older people like me, are no longer listening to the radio. What they're doing is they're listening to independent internet on-demand radio. Now, sometimes called a podcast, personal on-demand broadcast, but it really is independent, individual on-demand radio, and people are doing that. And we're going to, I've been on radio for many, many years, and I've been everything from BBC, Radio Netherlands, Trans World Radio, lots of small radio stations. I'm starting my own radio station along with some friends, and we call it WIT Radio. What It Takes Radio, and hopefully some of you will not only be listeners, you'll be contributors to it. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. And I've actually got a new course out, which if you're going to do that, you have to improve the power and the quality of your voice. And my lesson really will be on how to have a great and powerful voice and a powerful personal presence. Because that will be vital today. Your voice matters, and your voice can oftentimes make or break you in certain performing environments. And you'll find that course very, very helpful. Now, part of what we're all about is gaining a strong presence on the media. Now, what I'd like to do, I'm going to switch my long-range glasses here and put on my short-range glasses. And sometimes I don't like that because it has a little bit of a glare to it. But I was helping a young person put together their website. And what I said was, you know, most websites don't work very well. And then he said, "Most websites suck." No, I didn't say that, but he said it. And he said, "They're boring. They're terrible. I hardly ever spend any time on a website, and I don't want to have a boring, dumb website that doesn't work." And you know what? He's right. As one of my website friends said, 80% to 90% of the websites are useless. I said, well, is there a way to have a better website? Well, I'm going to put together, and you may want to listen to this again, there are 7 questions you need to ask about your website. Now, if you can answer these 7 questions and tell that to yourself and to your designer, it'll be helpful to you. Here we go. Your website is a stage. In fact, I don't even call them websites anymore. They're stages where you perform, just like a stage in a theater. And what is the story you want to tell? Now, whatever your website or stage is, what is the story you want people to tell? To hear. What is it? Tell me the story you want. That's the first thing I need to know to build a good stage for you. Who do you want to tell it to? Not just to everybody, but tell me very specifically, who do you want to come to your stage, and what are these people hopefully going to perhaps do when they hear your story? Which leads to number 3. What do you want your audience to feel, experience, and do? They came to your website. They're the ones you wanted. Now, when they leave in 3 to 5 minutes, what do you want them to experience, to feel, to possibly do? Now, tell me this. There's millions of websites and millions of people who do the same thing you do. By the way, I'm lucky in one respect. As far as I know, there is no Stan or Stanley Hustad anywhere else. So when I go and Google Stan Hustad or Stanley Hustad, I come up number 1. There doesn't seem to be anybody like me. Well, you know what? There's nobody like you. Well, that's my point. What is the one thing that's unique and different about you and your story? What's the one big difference that you have? Now, do you have an offer? Question number 5. Do you have an offer? What do you offer them? If they come to your website, what are they going to get? Remember, I oftentimes tell people everybody's wearing a sign that says, "What's in it for me?" When they go to your website, if it's all about you, what good is that for them? What will they get from going to your website? Okay? What's your offer? What will happen? Now, this is key. When a person comes to your website, how will we know if it was a successful visit? What do you want to have happen? Now, it's hard enough to get people to come to your website, but once you get them there, how will we determine how successful it was? I mean, if they just saw it and had a good time and they loved it, that's fine. Is there any other measurable thing you want to have happen? Well, then I ask you, question number 7, how much money do you want to spend? Now, most people spend way too much on websites today. You need to have a very simple web stage. And obviously, many of you will find help, freelancers and people who will help you do it quite inexpensively. The days when people spent thousands and thousands of dollars on websites, web stages should be past if you're smart. So there we go. What is your story that you want to tell? Who do you want to tell it to? What do you want your audience to feel, experience, and do? What is the one thing that is unique and different about you and your story? What is your offer to the folks? And in effect, what will we do and how will we know that the visit has been successful? And follow the money. What does it take? This is what I love to help people like many of you, your teachers, your broadcasters, your leaders, your consultants. You need to have a great online presence. You just have to. Having a Facebook is not enough. And by the way, the Facebook is the wrong approach, and we'll tell you more about that later. In your own little web stage, when I go there for 3 to 5 minutes, what will I discover that will helpful, be useful, and perhaps even joyful from what I experienced on your stage? Hey, time for me to wrap it up. I'm Stan. All the best. We'll be back with more on the EdCast Radio and Television Network.